Okay, I'm sure right now everyone has already seen the new Spider-Man Brand New Day trailer. And yep, that was an amazing trailer. I have a lot in my head. That's why I'm making this video, just so I could unpack everything and share my thoughts and get your thoughts as well. Right off the bat, I love the suit. It's so comic accurate. I love how it's so fabricy. You could see like a little wrinkles and folds when he's swinging or twisting and turning. I love how the suit finally is not Stark Tech, nanotech, or tech based in general, right? That was one of my biggest issues with the old Spider Man trilogy, with Far From Home, No Way Home, and Homecoming, is that it was so reliant on Stark Tech. And I get it because story wise, it makes sense, you know? Peter Parker was this young apprentice to Tony Stark and he got all the gadgets and whatever. But we're done with that story. This is a whole new trilogy, a new era for Peter Parker. And I love how we're going to that whole, just relying on Peter Parker's own intelligence, what he can afford, what he can make. And you see that through his suit. And I love it. This makes it probably the best Spider-Man suit already, because prior to this one, my favorite suit honestly was Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man 2 suit. Might be an unpopular opinion, but that was the best looking suit for Spider-Man. And not just with Spider-Man. I love how the villains we've seen so far here, we got a few glimpses of Scorpio, whichever, Tarantula, and this guy called Boomerang. It looks like all of their weapons, their armor, they're just like made out of military gear and materials and whatnot. It looks like it's not made from anything, futuristic like alien tech, Stark tech, nanotech, none of that. And I think what this does for the movie and for the world of Spider-Man is that it makes it feel more street level. That's what I want for Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man stories that are more street level based. We already got a lot of Spider-Man movies that dealt with him going to space and dealing with aliens and just high-tech stuff. So it's nice to see that we might be dealing with more grounded things. And it's nice to see that from the villains as well. Absolutely loved seeing Punisher. John Bernthal as Punisher has always been great, even from the first appearance in Daredevil Season 2. So much gravitas with his mannerism, with his voice. And I'm excited to see how that's translated into a PG movie. And so far, what we've seen in the trailer, it seems like they're doing it without too much thought into it. There's a lot of chatter online with like, oh, how can you bring an M-rated hero into a PG movie? Much like when people keep discussing like, how could you bring Robert Pattinson's Batman into Superman, and there's a lot of conversations there. This trailer shows it perfectly. You don't have to make a big deal about it. This is a fantastical, wacky world we live in these movies, right? It's very comic booky, obviously. And it just looks fun. It looks fun seeing this clash of worlds, like the R-ratedness of Frank Castle mixing it with Spider-Man. I'm all here for it. I'd love to see more of it. Interesting thing here, seems like the plot of the movie, it seems like Peter Parker's dealing through this mutation thing. You have someone talking about spiders having 3 life cycles. Bruce Banner mentions how Peter Parker might be mutating, or they were alluding to that. Seems like the chatter online, it seems like they're gonna be taking inspirations from this storyline where Peter Parker turns into a man spider. I'm excited to see just how far they'll go into it. Will Tom Holland turn into a legit spider, with like 6, how many legs does a spider have? 8 legs, I don't know. It'll be interesting. It'll be definitely something new we see in a Spider-Man movie, so I'm all for that. It seems like we got hints of Jean Grey here. If you guys don't know already, Sadie Sink from Stranger Things is in this movie, and her role has never been confirmed. Now you have people thinking that she might be Jean Grey, she might be this other character, Firestar or whatever. With this trailer, it seems like you got quick shots of people being controlled, or like their consciousness were being controlled from one person to the other. Seems like a Jean Grey thing, and I'm in the camp that Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey. Huge fan of the director as well. This director is the same director as Shang-Chi. Love that movie, so I'm very excited for this movie as well. Lastly, I do want to talk about The Hand. So in the last few shots in this trailer, you see Spider-Man fighting the Hand. The choreography looks great, again, coming from Shang-Chi. That was to be expected. What is interesting though is if you guys caught it at the end of the trailer, you see Spider-Man jumping towards a bunch of like the hand soldiers. But if you look at where the hand soldiers are jumping from, they're not aiming towards Spider-Man. They're aiming at someone under Spider-Man. And it looks like that person was edited out, which is very much what they did in the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, if you remember, where they edited out Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. It seems like they're doing this again. And if you ask me, that person that they edited out in the trailer has got to be Daredevil, because it's the only one that makes sense, you know? Punisher wouldn't be jumping like that with Spider-Man. Jean Grey doesn't really make sense. Hulk definitely doesn't make sense. Daredevil makes the most sense. And so if that's the case, that's gonna be dope. I'm excited. I hope they hide Daredevil in this movie. No appearances in any of the trailers or TV spots. Leave it as a surprise. Let people keep guessing if he's gonna appear in the movie or not. Overall, those are my thoughts with this trailer. Super sold me on it. Very much in love with the suit. Excited to see Spider-Man interact with these other, heroes that we've seen in the MCU, Bruce Banner, and even new MCU characters, such as Frank Castle and potentially Jean Grey. Excited to see this new chapter of Spider-Man. I'm very intrigued with this mutation storyline. Is this going to be self-contained in one movie, or is this something we're going to see in the next sequel, basically? We'll find out, but basically, I'm excited. Movie comes out in 4 months. Can't wait. How about you guys? Psst.